Hey, thanks for tuning in today. Oh my goodness, what a huge week. And as you could hear, if you listened to my podcast earlier this week, on Monday, I just was really not in the space given what happened, the awful terrorist attack in Australia at Bondi Beach. The whole week has been, I don't know, I've definitely felt a little bit flat. I also look at my window, the weather isn't great. I mean, it's nice, but it's overcast. So I just haven't really felt like I've been able to sort of get into even third gear. There's been so much going on. I'm still working very hard with clients. Clients want to wrap things up. Had some really great meetings looking at work for next year. And amongst all of it, I've negotiated a book deal, which is amazing. This has been in the works for some time, sort of going back and forth. I've learned a lot about publishing and terms and contracts while this has been happening. And I've had some really great advice from a couple of people. I've paid for their advice because I think it's an investment. Anyway, so the book deal is with Wiley, and I might even share maybe a bit of the backstory of how I got it. I don't actually want to give away the title, but I can tell you what it's about. It's kind of a book that I'm writing for an earlier version of Leanne, a version of Leanne that was on a train in South Bank 3 months into a brand new job. It was a dream job on paper, but I ended up hating it. And I was on this train looking for other jobs. Like the whole week, every afternoon, I jump onto seek.com and just search for jobs. I sort of realized after doing a bit of self-awareness, reading, talking to people, Jenny Blake's book Pivot was really great for me at the time as well. But what I wasn't doing was actually working on myself. And I thought that going to another job would help me out. It's really funny because at that job, I was talking to a guy called Sam Wardren, one of my colleagues, and his advice, this advice came later from working there, but it would have really sat at the right time if I'd heard it at that time. Sam said, Leanne, the grass isn't greener on the other side. It's just another shade of brown. And it's so true. Like every organization, you might get your dream job, but there's always going to be shades of brown. And I know it sounds like a horrible quote, but it's probably the most uninspiring quote I've ever heard that I continue to quote. But it's so true. And a lot of it isn't actually about the job. It's about what you can bring to it. And so a bit of the premise of this book, and as corny as it sounds, I'm thinking, do I really lead with this or include it? An element of this book is this is not about finding your dream job. It's about making your job a dream, about personal agency, about what you can do. And it's something that I did. And I know there's a lot of people that I work with, even as a consultant, that have these jobs, but they're like doing insanely cool things. Like in my job, it was quite dull. I was like at a computer, but I ended up, flying to Fort McMurray, running leadership training all around Indonesia, all around Australia, doing pre-start stuff, just creating my own opportunities. But I had to change for things to change. I think, does Jim Rohn say that, or is Tony Robbins? For things to change, you must change. I know it's one of those famous motivational speakers. So that's what the book is about. And there's a lot of sort of toolkits, practical guides, how to reach out to people, how to get a meeting with anyone, how to host lunch and learns. But also there's a bit about reputation building, what value actually means. So that's what I'll be working on. We have a pretty aggressive deadline, but I love that. Looking for an October 2026 release. The structure and a couple of chapters are due early January, so I'll be writing. And I think I honestly think that the structure is the most important thing. I guess what I want to teach is is it a linear format, or is it this certain ingredients that you need to do? And so I'm kind of playing with that idea. I also like the idea of having an output. So with the 2-hour workshop blueprint, you create a spark sheet. I don't think it's like creating anything like that, but I definitely want some output embedded within the book. And so that is chewing up a lot of my bandwidth, thinking about what that might be. So yeah, really, really excited about that. Actually, I'll save how I got this book deal for another episode. It's actually perfect the way that I got this book deal because it kind of reflects what I teach in the book. And probably the most provocative thing that I will open up with is, there's that famous phrase around be so good they can't ignore you. So chapter 1, everything will change. Obviously, I'm working with a publisher, so I don't have 100% control of this at all. But chapter 1 is why be so good they can't ignore you is a lie. So yes, very excited to share more on that. Anyway, thanks so much for listening. I'm just going to wrap up some other things. I got a big webinar I'm hosting tomorrow. Thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.